Sid James and Bernard Bresslaw are both members of a Reddit sub for ball python enthusiasts. Between them, they have over 50 years of ball python keeping experience, and they disagree about everything, from the right kind of substrate to use to the ideal temperatures and level of humidity to maintain. Their online debates are frequent, heated, and not always civil. Jim Dale is a new keeper who one day innocently posts a question about how much to feed his new snake. Is one mouse every 3 days enough? Uh-oh, that's far too much food. The poor animal will become overweight and have health problems. United in a common cause, Sid and Bernard rip into Jim, telling him he isn't fit to be keeping an animal and asking if he even did any research at all. Kenneth Williams and Charles Hawtrey join in, and together the older snake-loving carry-on regulars give Jim Dale a proper pasting. Barbara Windsor, also a member of the sub, reads the string of comments and feels sorry for Jim. She posts a comment of her own in which she admonishes Sid, Bernard, Kenneth and Charles for being so judgmental. She also posts a link to a reliable care guide which she gently encourages Jim to read so he can find out more about how to take care of his pet. Jim is touched, responding with a shy "thank you," and soon he and Barbara are exchanging flirtatious, innuendo-laden direct messages. Sometimes he even sends her a photo of his python. All kinds of snake-based social media shenanigans ensue before the movie comes to a romantic yet still hilarious conclusion. Sadly, the classic Carry On lineup last worked together in 1974, and the plot I've outlined here was never even conceived of, let alone turned into a movie. For that reason, I'd like to dedicate this quiz to everyone who worked on the Carry On films and to everyone who cares about the health and happiness of their reptiles and does everything they can to give them the best possible lives. Snakewise is proud to present Carry On, How's Your Husbandry? People who are prone to nervous hiccups make terrible police snipers, just as very tall people make unconvincing dwarves on Snow White themed carnival floats. But what are Bismarck ringed pythons notoriously bad at doing in captivity? As a reptile lover, you've probably wondered what it would be like to have a dragon, but honestly, they don't make the best pets. They need a very particular kind of enclosure for one thing, a medium-sized cave at least for a baby, and when they reach adulthood, they'll need a system of interconnected subterranean chambers full of gold and precious jewels. Then there's the neighbours. They'll probably eat most of the villagers in your area, so there's that to think about. And there's availability. Being fictional, you almost never see one for sale on Morph Market. Keeping a dragon snake, though? Well, actually, you probably shouldn't get one of those either. What are some of the husbandry issues that make getting a dragon snake for a pet a bad idea? Sunny and Lulu are both the same species, both boa imperatas. Sunny's orange because he's a Carl Sunglow jungle, that's his morph, but he's still a boa imperata. Lulu's paler than your average wild-type boa imperata, plus she has freckles. That's because she's a Hog Island boa, which means her ancestors came from the Hog Islands off the coast of Honduras. She's still a boa imperata though. So they're both the same species, but to me, they're very different. Can you tell me one thing that Lulu does significantly better than Sunny, something that anyone who wants to get a Hog Island boa should consider before buying and when decorating a vivarium? I'm very excited. This week I'm picking up my first ever Western hog-nosed snake, a beautiful adult female. I've got a picture of her vivarium here if you'd like to have a look. It's a glass vivarium, 24 inches long here, 18 inches along here and 36 inches high. Nice piece of driftwood in the middle. Got an analog thermometer here, 80% on the hygrometer. Got a hide at the bottom there, halogen bulb and plenty of paper towels at the bottom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's perfect, but if you can see anything wrong with it, score a point for every husbandry error that you can identify. You know where you are with a carry-on film. Same actors playing the same characters, more or less, just wearing different costumes. Slapstick for the kids, rude jokes for the mums and dads. It's the same with snake keeping, kind of. Of course, you need to do your research for the particular species, but whichever snake you buy, you'll probably need to provide a temperature gradient, plenty of cover, a hide at each end of the viv. You'll want to get the humidity right. And of course, you'll need to provide an enclosure for just that one animal because you can't cohab snakes. Or rather, you can't cohab most snakes. Which of these snakes actually do better in captivity when housed with other California red-sided garter snakes? I've got the answers. Question number 1. Bismarck ring pythons are prone to dissectosis in captivity, which means they can have problems shedding. You need to get the humidity right, between about 60 and 80%. Question number 2. Dragon snakes have very particular husbandry requirements. They need high humidity and plenty of ventilation, and you need to be willing and able to provide a diet of live fish, live tadpoles and live frogs. They're very delicate, so they should be handled as little as possible. And on top of all that, any you see for sale will probably be wild caught. So if they were born in the wild, they should stay in the wild. And if you did get a wild caught one, you'd be getting a very sensitive animal that's been through a disturbing experience and will be especially prone to diseases. Any diseases they get will need very specific treatment and mistakes can be fatal. So yeah, not good pets. Question number 3, Lulu climbs way better than Sunny. At 2 years old, she's 99% arboreal. She sleeps in a sky hide, even though she's got 2 ground hides as well. When she's out and about, she's in her branches most of the time. So yeah, Hog Island boas need the opportunity to climb and also somewhere to sleep up above ground. Question number 4. It turns out there's quite a lot wrong with my Western hog-nosed enclosure. I posted a picture on Reddit and I got back this reply. I'll read it to you. You bastard! You should be ashamed of yourself, you... Actually, I can't read this. There's some quite fruity language in here. I'll do my best to deliver a family-friendly version. So it's not long enough or wide enough. It needs to be at least 36 inches long and 18 inches wide. Being all glass, I need to cover all but one of the sides so she doesn't feel too exposed. She needs stuff in there at ground level, like plastic plants, so she can move around and still stay hidden. She's only got one heat source, and it's a halogen, which is only suitable for the daytime. She needs a lightless heat source for the night. The heat sources need to be connected to thermostats, and they need to be in cages so she won't burn herself on the bulbs. There should be a flat stone under the daytime heat source where she can bask. She might benefit from UVB lighting. She needs 2 hides at ground level, one at the warm end and one at the cool end so she can thermoregulate. She doesn't need a sky hide. Stick-on thermometers aren't very reliable. The humidity is way too high and needs to be between 30 and 50%. She needs substrate she can burrow in, not paper towels. And she needs a water bowl. So, yeah. So I'm not going to get my Western hog-nosed snake this week as planned. I'm going to wait a bit and do the proper research. Question number 5, and I might have given the answer away. California red-sided garter snakes reportedly do better in captivity when housed together. I think other species of garter snakes as well, but not all because some of them are partial to a spot of cannibalism, so you need to do your research. That's it from me. Thanks everybody. See you in the next one.